Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. For today's video, we're going to be taking an in-depth look into the Ford Mustang Shelby GT350. In this review, I'm going to start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip, and go over the performance data. I'll take it on a thorough drive and show you many of the unique aspects throughout the interior as well as exterior. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on in, start her up, and let her run. Also, a huge thanks to my friends at Cosmo Motors of Hickory, North Carolina for providing this example today. For more information about the dealership, including contact info and current inventory, please feel free to check out that website provided in the description box below. The GT350, like all Mustangs, comes standard with a smart key entry system and push-button ignition. To start, just make sure you have the key fob within the interior, then put your foot on the clutch and hit the red button in the console to go. Shelby's original idea that led to the creation of the GT350 back in 1965 was simple: to take a great everyday car and transform it into a dominant road racer. This meant taking a select number of stock 4-speed GTs and giving them a comprehensive makeover for track duty. Those same principles are very much alive and well in today's GT350, which reappeared just last year after an absence of nearly half a century. Unlike the last Shelby in recent memory, the 662 horsepower GT500, the all-new GT350 takes the 6th generation Mustang firmly into track-focused territory. Designed to carve up racing circuits with poise and precision while maintaining a surprising amount of flexibility as a well-mannered daily driver. As far as some of the changes for 2017, the previously optional track package is now included as standard equipment. I'll explain what that entails as we go through the video. This example is a 2016 model equipped with the track package. Other changes include some reshuffling of option packages in 3 new colors: Ruby Red Metallic, Lightning Blue, and Grabber Blue, which replace Deep Impact Blue and Competition Orange. In designing the GT350's exterior, a priority was placed on optimizing aerodynamics. While it clearly has the most menacing stance out of any factory-built 6th generation Mustang to date, all of the changes you see were done to carry out specific functions, such as cooling and downforce, to improve performance on the track. For starters, the bodywork from the A-pillars forward is all new. The only thing carried over is the headlamps, which actually reside about an inch lower than your regular Mustang. The lower and more steeply sloped aluminum hood looks to have been shrink-wrapped around the engine. The prominent outlet in the center of the hood acts as a heat extractor while also reducing underhood lift at higher speeds. Because of the lower hood, the front grille opening reinforcement had to be redone. It's now made from a carbon fiber composite structure that's 24% lighter while maintaining the same stiffness as the normal steel structure. The total curb weight for this particular example would be around 3,791 pounds. The front fascia has been resculpted to incorporate a large front splitter and ducted belly pan to significantly increase downforce. Additional intakes to either side create dedicated air channels to the engine oil cooler and transmission oil cooler, which were once a part of the track package but again is now included as standard. The rest of the air gets divided between the radiator, high-pressure engine air intake, and the front brake ducts. The aluminum front fenders have been recontoured to accommodate a 1.4-inch wider front track and wider wheel arches. Behind the wheels are a pair of fender vents that work in conjunction with the vented inner fenders to draw out turbulent air from the wheel wells and further reduce front-end lift before smoothly directing it down the sides of the car. Note the unique side skirts as well. At the rear, there's an aggressive diffuser that encompasses twin polished exhaust tips. The diffuser has a dual responsibility of increasing downforce while providing air to the differential cooler via a pair of NACA ducts. A subtle lip spoiler was standard equipment on 2016 GT350s, but with the track package, a larger downforce generating spoiler was included. Again, this is now standard equipment. Pricing for the 2017 GT350 begins at $57,045, while the more hardcore GT350R begins at $64,545, both of which include a $900 destination charge. The GT350 puts its power to the ground through a set of staggered 19-inch alloy wheels and high-performance Michelin Pilot Supersport tires, which feature a unique sidewall construction, tread face, and compound. The wheels are finished in satin black and measure 10.5 inches wide in front and 11 inches wide in the rear. They're wrapped in 295/35 and 305/35 tires respectively. Together with all of the chassis enhancements, the GT350 is able to corner with upwards of 1 G of lateral acceleration. Of course, a powerful car needs a powerful braking system. Plus, to ensure it's up to the rigors of track duty, it must also be able to withstand and dissipate heat effectively for strong and consistent performance. The GT350's two-piece cross-drilled cast iron rotors are the largest rotors ever fitted to a production Mustang. Paired with 6-piston Brembo calipers in front and 4-piston calipers in the rear, they're able to bring the car to a stop from 60 miles an hour in about 102 feet. The front rotors measure 15.5 by 1.41 inches, and the rears measure 14.9 by 1.02 inches. To pretty much eliminate the possibility of fade, dedicated ducting in the front and rear provide added cooling for the brakes. The electrically assisted rack and pinion steering has an overall ratio of 16.5:1, and it takes 2.6 turns to lock. The turning circle is measured at 40.4 feet. The feedback is relatable to a GT equipped with the performance package, but where you really start to notice a difference is how much more responsive the Shelby is. It changes direction without complaint and maintains a high degree of confidence. As I'll touch on in just a moment, if you wanted a more tactile feel, steering weight can be increased even further via the drive modes. The GT350 shares its basic suspension architecture with other Mustangs, but it's been heavily revised to lessen unsprung weight, improve steering feel, and sharpen the car significantly through the corners. It begins with McPherson struts in front with dual lower ball joints and an independent integral link rear with front and rear stabilizer bars. Some of the Shelby-specific components include all-new aluminum front knuckles, hubs, and bearing assemblies that are stiffer and lighter than what you'd find on any other Mustang. Stiffer bushings for the control arms and subframes improve steering feedback, while heavy-duty bearings were added for increased lateral stiffness. The front and rear stabilizer bars are also thicker to improve body control. It would seem that no stone was left unturned. One of the rear springs was even counterwound, which required a new rear control arm. This resulted in the left and right sides becoming mirror images of each other to eliminate any disparities in spring performance. Perhaps the biggest piece of news in handling, though, is that the GT350 has become Ford's first application of continuously variable MagneRide dampers. The magnetorological fluid within is able to alter its viscosity based on electric current and update damping forces every 7 milliseconds, leading to near instantaneous suspension adaptability. The only way you could get them in 2016 was with the track package, which also included a front shock tower brace, firmer springs, and a more aggressive deck lid spoiler. All of this is now included as standard equipment on 2017 models. I'm particularly fond of the all-new integrated driver control system, which includes 5 unique modes that tailor ABS, stability control, traction control, steering effort, throttle mapping, damper stiffness, and exhaust settings, depending on your personal preference and performance desires. Also included is launch control as well as a line lock feature, which locks the front wheels and allows for a big smoky burnout so you can heat up the rear tires for more grip, such as on a drag strip. The GT350's hand-assembled 32-valve 5.2-liter V8, codenamed Voodoo, delivers a unique experience unlike any other Mustang in Ford's portfolio, largely thanks to its Ford steel flat-plane crankshaft. In contrast to a traditional cross-plane V8, where the piston carrying connecting rods attach to the crankshaft at 90-degree intervals, a flat-plane V8's attachments are at 180-degree intervals. This allows for a firing order that alternates ignition events between the two cylinder banks, thereby separating the exhaust pulses to improve airflow. The connecting rods are made from forged steel, while the pistons are made from forged aluminum. The crankshaft is also gun drilled, with large holes in the counterweights to further improve airflow. With lower rotational inertia, the engine is able to rev freer all the way to an impressive 8,250 RPM redline, making it the highest revving production Ford V8 ever. Aside from some fundamental similarities to the GT's 5-liter Coyote V8, including bore spacing and deck height, this was an all-new development that focused on delivering an engine that was lighter with reduced internal friction and stronger to handle significantly more power and sustained high RPM operation. The depths that engineers went to create Voodoo can make up an entire video by itself, so for today we'll cover some of the highlights. For starters, the GT350 produces an impressive 526 horsepower at 7,500 RPM and 429 pound-feet of torque at 4,750 RPM. That's an increase of 91 horsepower and 29 pound-feet of torque over a GT, leading to a 0 to 60 time of around 4.1 seconds. With a specific output of 102 horsepower per liter, Voodoo is the most power-dense and the most powerful naturally aspirated road-going Ford engine ever. The flat-plane crankshaft, in conjunction with a bespoke low-restrictive exhaust system and dual-stage mufflers, creates a more exotic note versus what you typically hear from a cross-plane V8. The difference between this and a normal GT is night and day. The engine is constructed using CNC machined aluminum heads and an aluminum block with plasma transferred wire arc coating for the cylinder liners. Bore and stroke measures 94 and 93 millimeters respectively. The valve train consists of dual overhead cams, hollow steel intake valves, sodium-filled exhaust valves, and dual-stage variable valve timing. Fuel is delivered via port injection, accompanied by a compression ratio of 12:1. The single 87mm throttle body is also the largest ever used on a Ford engine. It takes air captured by the open element filter and feeds it into a variable composite intake manifold. Underneath the engine is a new composite oil pan that sheds a good bit of weight as well, despite having a greater carrying capacity over a GT. The sole transmission, a Tremec TR3160 6-speed manual, was a unique development for the GT350. A torsion limited slip differential helps control torque delivery at the rear wheels, along with a 3.73-to-1 final drive. There's a dual-mass flywheel and twin-disc clutch that are mounted within a lightweight aluminum housing for added stiffness. Some of the unique design elements include a gun-drilled main shaft, milled gears, and carbon-bronze triple-cone synchronizers. The clutch is light yet highly communicative, and the shifter doesn't take much effort to operate. It shifts quicker than the GT's Getrag MT82 6-speed, while feeling more precise thanks to an aggressive shift rail and shorter throws. EPA fuel economy estimates range between 14 miles per gallon in the city and 21 miles per gallon on the highway. The expected average is around 16 miles per gallon. The GT350 requires the use of premium fuel and has a total capacity of 16 gallons. So now let's go ahead and see how she sounds. Remember, the GT350 comes standard with a dual mode exhaust system. First, we'll take a look at normal mode. Now let's go ahead and open it up by putting the exhaust into sport mode. As I've discussed in prior videos, Ford did a fantastic job with the interior of the 6th generation Mustang. The GT350 is no exception, as it features a number of unique design cues for added visual flair, such as a flat-bottom leather and suede steering wheel, Recaro seats, a numbered plaque on the dash, special door sill plates, and a new instrument cluster, with a 9,000 RPM tach and a 200 mph speedometer. Keeping in mind that the GT350 was primarily developed for the track, you'll notice that all of the chrome and bright finishes typically found in other Mustangs have been reduced or eliminated to prevent any excess sun glare that could possibly distract the driver. What bright work is left over has sort of a bronze tint and looks especially cool in person. The Recaros are Shelby specific and feature cloth upholstery, Miko suede inserts, and manual adjustments. Along with big lateral bolsters to keep you snugged in, the backrests are flared and the headrests are fixed. The steering wheel is also manually adjusting for both tilt and reach. On the flip side, if you opt for the convenience package, the Recaros are replaced by leather trim seats, similar to what you would find in a GT Premium. They're geared more towards comfort and add some power adjustments, including lumbar for the driver. They're also heated and cooled. For me, the Recaros are the way to go. They perfectly suit the character for this car and don't sacrifice much comfort in the long run. At the end of the day, it's all a matter of personal preference. Like other Mustangs equipped with the performance package, the GT350 also has a pair of center dash gauges, one for oil pressure and one for oil temperature. General ergonomics, as expected, remain quite good. This example is equipped with the base 6-speaker AM/FM audio system, along with a single-disc CD player, 2 USB ports, and hands-free telephone. By adding the optional electronics package, you receive the new Sync 3 infotainment system with an 8-inch touchscreen, a premium 9-speaker audio system, satellite radio, dual-zone climate control, and more. As far as storage, there's door pockets, a center console cubby, and a generous locking glove box. With regards to safety, there's 8 airbags in total, which is twice as many as the prior generation Mustang, including driver and passenger knee airbags. While Ford also offers a suite of available safety tech for the Mustang, such as adaptive cruise, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and rain sensing windshield wipers, these options do not extend to the GT350. To gain access to the back seat, just grab the handle in the upper backrest and slide the assembly forward. With the Recaros, you don't have any seatback storage pockets. There's not a ton of space back there, but for smaller individuals it's decently accommodating. The overall seat style doesn't differ from your typical Mustang, with good lateral bolstering up top and down below, but the upholstery again is Shelby specific. You can also fold down the back seat with a 50-50 split if you needed to stow some longer items through the trunk. Alright, let's go ahead and shut her down. Being that I've covered a lot of different Mustangs in previous reviews, if you'd like to learn more about available technology, backseat space, and trunk space, I'll put a bunch of links in the description box so you can check those out. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the Ford Mustang Shelby GT350. Be sure to stay tuned next time, leave a like and subscribe today, there's always a lot more where that came from. Take care everyone.